Hello everyone, my name is Katie and welcome back to ChoKwonDeezMakes, a channel where I talk about sewing, knitting, quilting, and the likes. Today I'm going to take you through a make along with me. I have needed some layering pieces for a while now, and I am going to be making Kiana Bonollo, hello. The turtleneck mock neck. I got this off of Etsy. It's a print at home pattern. I have everything printed out, but we are going to go through and trace it because I don't want to print it a bunch of times if I need different sizes. So we're gonna trace the size medium. I have my fabrics here. I have 4 different fabrics, and we're gonna do maybe 4 different variations, definitely 3. I want a turtleneck, a mock neck, and then I'm gonna try and do just like a crew neck, and we'll see how that goes. This is my first fabric. It is like a sheer mesh. I got it at Joann's. It was on sale. Let's see if I can give you a single layer. I folded it up pretty, of course, but that's kind of the vibes. I'm seeing a lot of these on like Aerie and things like that, like American Eagle, Free People. There's one Free People shirt that I really love. It's got no neckline, like seam, but it's still kind of a mock neck. So I think we're gonna try that one too. So I have this mesh and I have another mesh. I got this one from an old friend of mine. They were selling some of their clothes. This used to be the skirt of a dress, and I cut the top portion off and I have that as a top, and now I'm gonna use the skirt to make another top. And then I have this flannel, like waffle texture. I think this is from Joann's. I like to scour the remnants a lot, so a lot of my fabrics are just like things that I've grabbed that are like at least a yard from the remnants. But with this one, I think I'm gonna do just the classic turtleneck because it is really soft and like it's a really nice color. I think it's flattering on me, but I also really like this kind of blue. Yeah, and then I just got this one also from Joann's. It's a ribbed green. I'm not sure what kind of neck I want to do. Maybe, I think this one I'll try the regular crew neck. So I think I'm gonna start with the turtleneck, then go to the mock neck, turtleneck. Let's do mock neck. And then this one will do the no neck seam but sloped. And then we'll try a crew neck with this one. I'm very excited. I'm going to start, oh, sorry, that was loud. I'm gonna start with tracing the pattern pieces, and then we will get started sewing and cutting. I have all my pattern pieces here. As you can see, there's 4 different sizes. I've cut out the largest size, but I want to trace this second largest size, which is a medium. I have some pattern paper that I'm gonna use, and we're gonna trace the sizes, and then we're gonna cut it out of our first fabric, which is gonna be the turtleneck. We're gonna try it out, and I haven't read the instructions very thoroughly for the pattern. So I think what I'm gonna do is cut the pieces out, read the pattern instructions, see if I wanna tweak anything, and I'll let you guys know if I do, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I finished tracing my pieces. What I like to use for cutting out pattern pieces is a smaller rotary cutter. Hello, there we go. And I have it labeled paper so that I know I don't use that for fabric. And then for straight edges, I like to use just an X-Acto knife. I'm gonna use a clear plastic ruler to make sure my cuts are straight. And then for the curved cuts, I use the rotary cutter. Okay, I just finished cutting out my pattern pieces. They're all curled up right now because they were in rolls. And so I'm gonna iron them, no steam, just to make them flat and easy to use. And then I'm going to start with my turtleneck fabric. Nice and straight. So I'm going to do that for all the rest of my pattern pieces, and then I'll get back to you. I have my turtleneck fabric here. As you can see, my pieces are now nice and flat. The setting on the iron that I use is the next highest without the steam. That gets it nice and crisp. And you don't have to like hold it at all. You can just glide over it once and you're good to go. I like to do it with the writing side down, so on the back of it. That way, if anything like if you have any burn marks or anything on your iron, it just kind of stays on the back and doesn't mess up your pattern piece. Okay, so I'm going to lay out my fabric and figure out the pattern placement because I don't really know how much fabric is in this piece right now. I don't really like to use pins, so I'll probably use just some knickknacks that I have to weigh the fabric or the pattern pieces to the fabric, and then we're gonna cut it out with a rotary cutter. There's no notches. On this pattern. Why does that sound wrong? Am I a fake seamstress? The only notch that there is on the top of the sleeve where you should have the top meet the shoulder seam. So that's the only notch. And I'm trying to think. I think that's it. So let's get ready and cut this out and make a turtleneck. Hello, I've put you on my dress form so you can see the table. I don't have a tripod yet, so. We have my cutting mats here. I always wait, For this one, I waited until Joann's had a like 50 or 60% coupon to grab the cutting mat because they can be expensive. So look out for a coupon. Okay, so I don't have a ton of fabric here. As you can see, this is about 2 inches shy of a yard. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to take one side of the selvage, just kind of drape the other side over, and make this match the width of my pattern pieces. And I'll just keep doing that as I go over. That way, if I have any extra, it's a larger collective piece on the other side, and we don't waste anything. I have a notepad there to take any notes as I'm constructing or whatnot. I think first we'll do one of the bodice pieces. I also think I'm going to crop this a bit. I don't really like to have full-length garments because all my pants are high-waisted anyways, so I'm probably gonna make the side seam about 10 inches and leave and have like 1 inch for the hem. That way the side seam's like 9 inches, and that should meet pretty nicely to the top of my pants or a little below. Maybe I should cut 11 inches. Let me measure the side seam. Okay, so this is 13.5 inches long. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna do 11 inches. And then maybe 11.5, because there's 1/2 inch to the shoulder seam, armhole. Just gonna fold it up and fold that part in. Voila. Down, 3 to go. I don't know where to put this one. I'm gonna put it underneath these. Okay, I'm gonna see if I fold this pattern piece in half, if I can get it to fit over here. And I can. Hooray. So I'm just gonna scooch it all the way down to the last piece I cut. And always close your rotary cutter when you're not using it. What I'm going to do is take my front piece that I folded. I'm going to line up the side seams because those need to match on the front and back. And then I'm going to make a crease on my other pattern piece. And use that crease to just fold it into place. Make sure it's straight and get the extra little flare at the bottom that it has out the way. And then we're gonna line it up on the folded edge. Get our little weights. Maybe I'll just use these this time since the rocks get in the way. Do I have anything else? Guys, I have a ton of pins. It's not like I don't have pins. I just, this affects the fabric less when you just lay it down. You're not moving it to pin it or anything like that. So that's why I use weights instead of pins. And we are ready to go. So I'm just sitting down to read the instructions. We want to do the shoulder seam and the side seam. But what I think I'm gonna do is do the shoulder seam on the front and back, do the neck, and then put the sleeve on. That way I can just go from cuff to hem in one fell swoop. Is that the saying? I don't know. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I do have a twin needle. I've never used it. I also have a serger. I'm gonna use that for the inside seams. And then for the hem, I think I will try the twin needle for the first time. I just need to see if I have some thread that matches the color of the fabric. So I have my serger here. Gonna turn it on. I just found a dial on my serger that I've never seen before. Okay. First thing I think I'm gonna do is just get my turtleneck prepped. So down the short side, and then do my shoulder seams. There's a 1/2 inch seam allowance on this, so the width of my serger is about 1/4 inch, so I'm going to account for that when I start feeding it in here. Concentrated. There we go. Make sure you always leave a long tail, even though they're annoying to cut off. I'm gonna iron this and then fold it in half. Let's see if this fits over my head. Even though I already just cut out all of my pattern pieces. Okay, it does. Very cute, very soft. It's warm too from the iron. So I'm going to continue with sewing all the bits together. Next, I'm gonna do the shoulder seam of the front and the back, and then I'll meet up with you after that. I just sewed the shoulder seams and steamed the heck out of them. And now I'm going to insert the turtleneck. So I've pinned on my turtleneck to my neckline. As you can see, it kind of just fits really nicely. There's no stretching that you need to do. Okay, turtleneck is on. We're gonna try it on again. Nicely stretches over the noggin. Feels pretty nice. And yeah, that armhole depth is pretty good for me. I hope this is the front. And then you can see where I cropped it to. It's pretty close to the sweater that I'm wearing. And I would be easily able to tuck it in or whatever. All right, now we're going to attach the sleeves and then sew up the side seams. This is how the shirt is looking with both sleeves attached to the shoulder seams. Now all I have to do is right sides together. I'm gonna sew from the sleeve hem to the shirt hem. Okay, here is it all together. I haven't hemmed it yet. Hear me out. My arms are kind of long anyways. What if I just don't hem it? Is that too much? Is that gonna be awful? Like, look, can you see? It doesn't look bad not hemmed, does it? I got blue on blue. Does it look bad unhemmed? I don't know. Everything I have is like pretty much unhemmed, so I think I'm gonna leave it. Should I do a lettuce hem? No, I'm not gonna do a lettuce hem. I like the length of this though. And I think if I am gonna hem the other ones or any of the other ones, I'm gonna have to lengthen the arms a bit. So this turtleneck one is done. It's very soft. I made this pattern once in a small and it didn't really fit me very well, but this medium fits much better in the shoulders, in the chest, in the waist. So I'm gonna continue on. I think I'm gonna do the mock neck, super quick and speedy, and then I'll come back to try out the one where there's no neck seam and it's just like a mock neck. I'll try to find a picture too so that I can show you guys. I hit a little snafu on this mock neck one. I didn't have enough fabric for long sleeves, so I just cut what I was able to. Also, I used the hem of the skirt as the hem of the shirt, and I also had to put one of the side seams in the back of the shirt. There we go. But I think I'm just going to cut a little bit off of this sleeve, and then I will hem it to match the bottom of the shirt. I have a long sleeve on because this is see-through, but probably going to put it like right there, like a longer short sleeve. This is like 3 inches. So I think I'm gonna do that. Let's see. I cut off about 3 inches from the sleeve. I'm going to set up my twin needle now. This is the one I have. And I'm putting it on my Janome machine. I also have a Singer, but I have not ventured. I've had this machine for like 12 years. 12 years? No. It's been much longer that I've had this. My grandmother got it for me when I started sewing more regularly. And so it's been many years that I've had this machine. So I just put my twin needle in. I have a bobbin of white thread and also a spool of white thread. I'm going to thread them both through the machine like you would if you were just using one. And then I don't know where to put my bobbin. Wow, it's a little funky, like there's a ridge here. Maybe that's because my tension is off. Stupid. Okay, my tension is off. I'm gonna leave it because I don't really care that much, but I'm gonna press it real quick and then do the other one. Here is the finished mock neck. The neck looks really nice. Both sleeves, even though I messed with the tension, they both ended up like this, and I wonder if it's just because the fabric is so flimsy. But it's really cute. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it long sleeves, but I have the other mesh fabric that I'm gonna do a seamless like mock neck with. We're gonna go through that together. And that one's gonna be a lettuce hem though, so I'm not really gonna mess with the twin needle until the next one. This is the front bodice. I think what we're gonna do is weigh it down, and then I'm going to take the shoulder seam. So it starts here. I'm gonna take it here and then like move it back an inch and then lengthen it upwards, maybe 2 inches. That way the incorporated band has enough like space so it's not like, oh, you know, but also I'm gonna follow the curve of the neckline so that there is that shape, and it won't be just like a straight line on your neck. So I'm going to, with a air and water soluble marker, I'm gonna take my measuring tool, gonna measure an inch right there, and then I'm gonna go up 2 inches. I think I'm gonna slope it just a bit to there. So there's that. And then we're gonna go, it's sticking too much, so I'm gonna use my tape measure. 2 inches is there, and we're gonna have one flat part, like 1/2 inch of a flat straight line at the front of the neck, and then we're gonna curve it. So I'm just moving my tape measure around so that, oh, you know what? Duh. This is not how it's going to be. We've all in. Okay. So I will show you all what this looks like. Okay, so here's what the neckline looks like hacked. I imaginary drew a line. This line is gonna stay the same. This is where I took an inch from the shoulder seam. And then I think I'm gonna curve this a bit so it's a little more of a natural shape. And then this one, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. And then on the back, my other piece, pattern piece right there. I'm going to do something similar. Maybe I think I'm gonna mark here where the, where I edited it on the front, and then when I get to the back, I will use it as a reference. Here's what I'm doing with the shoulder seam. I've marked my initial, what's that called? That's where I initially drew the line, but when I curved it while I was cutting it out, this is where it connected. So I'm gonna mark that on my back piece and then do the 2-inch markings and curve it in. Here is what the pieces look like. This is the front. You can see I followed the neckline. This is the back. They match up pretty well. Just gonna have to finagle it a little bit, but that's okay. We have 1/2 inch of seam allowance to work with. So I'm gonna do the shoulder seams, put the sleeves on, then the side seams, and then I'll show you guys how to do the lettuce hem. Okay, here is the edited shirt. I had to take this off like 3 times to figure out which side the front was. But this is the front. It's pulling a little bit, but like, it's not too bad. And then I think once I put the lettuce hem on, it'll be a little more comfortable, but very cute. I like this pattern. It's like neutral enough that I could wear it with pretty much anything, but still be fun, you know? All right, I'm gonna do the lettuce hem, try it on again, see what it looks like, and then go from there. Alrighty, this is how the hacked one came out. I realized the masking tape looked awful. This is the one with masking tape. It looks so yucky. This is when I figured out what I was doing. So the neckline is frilly, the bottom is frilly. I think it looks really cute. I can't wait to layer with this. I'm fighting the light, so we'll see how much I can get done on the regular crew neck. I'm gonna try on the turtleneck one because they're the most similar fabric-wise, and then I'll talk you through my process of how I'm gonna get a crew neck out of this. What I'm gonna look at here is where the neckline is. If I wanna drop it at all, if I wanna extend it. I don't think I'm gonna move the neckline on the back, but I think I am gonna drop the one on the front, maybe 1/2 inch. And keep the length, keep the arm length. I'm gonna add 1 inch to maybe both, because my arms are long. So I think I'll add 1 inch to here for the seam allowance, and then I'll add 1 inch to the bottom so that I can tuck it and sew it. I think I'm gonna do a double needle hem again. So here's my adjusted neckline. You can see I marked 1/2 inch down and like try to get a straight line 1/4 inch in. That's the straight 1/4 inch here is so that you don't get like a weird V or a weird hump in the middle. So I'm probably gonna use my straight edge here and get it really crisp, so that it's a nice smooth transition on the fold. And then if you follow it up to there, you can see that I just blended it out to nothing, and it's gonna be the same length of shoulder seam as the back. That way I don't have to edit this. I just dropped it a little bit. It's the next day because my phone died and I ran out of sunlight. But I finished the body of the crew neck that I'm trying to make. And I did the hems. They still look a little weird, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up how to properly do twin needle hems. Like they still have the little bump there. I'm going to explain to you all what I'm gonna do while I snip these threads. So to get a crew neck, I am going to measure the neckline finished as it is now, and then multiply it by 0.85 to get a stretched look. Because if you do it with the actual measurement of the neckline, you're gonna end up with something similar to the mock neck instead of having it lay flat. So that is why you do a multiple of 0.85. And then I will serge it on. I'm actually gonna try this on before I do all of that so that I can see where the neckline lays on my, you know, whatever, neck. And then if I wanna cut anything, I'll cut some off because the way we're gonna put this on is similar to a bias binding. We're not going to be adding or subtracting any seam allowance. So where it lays is where it's going to lay, period. I am not going to serge it on, I think. I'm going to baste it where I want it and then use the twin needle to secure both sides of the collar on. And once I do that, you can pull the basting out. I'm gonna double check. I'm pretty sure I've seen a video of someone else do it this way. So we are going to try it this way. And hope that it works, you know? So I'm gonna finish clipping these threads and then try it on for y'all. All right, tried it on. Length of the body is good. Length of the sleeves is good. And I actually do like where the neckline is laying right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure it, do the multiplying, and then we're gonna cut out the piece of fabric and get to sewing. I have my extra fabric here, my shirt here. I'm just going to take my tape measure. I'm gonna start at one shoulder, measure the front to the other shoulder, and then measure the back. And 16 is the finished length, circumference. So what we're gonna do is 16. You are on my phone. I'm gonna do some math. 16 times 0.85, whatever that is, we're gonna add 1 for seam allowance. Okay, math is done. It's 13.6 plus 1, so it's 14.6. And 0.6 is going to be, how much is that? It's less than 3/4, so let's do 5/8. Why not? I'm gonna get my bigger ruler so that we can get this right. Okay, I'm gonna line up my length number on the selvage edge and then just follow this cut line for the 2 inches. And okay, now what we're gonna do is just connect it in the round with the serger. We're at the iron. This lighting is terrible. Ooh, it's hot. So I have my neckline here. I'm going to press my serged seam, and it's laying in half so that I can have a crease on the center front, because I'm going to line this up with the center back. And then I also made a notch for the shoulder seams. For getting the measurement, I just did the measurement of the back seam times 0.85 and the measurement of the front times 0.85, and just kind of roughly guessed, because it gave me a decimal number and not a fraction. So that is how I got my notches. I'm actually gonna notch the front too, because knits don't hold a crease like wovens do. And I'm only notching it on one side of the neckline, because if I just follow that line on the ribbing, it's going to show me where it needs to be anyways. Here we are at the machine. This looks pretty good, right? Okay, so 3/8 for my machine is on the edge of my presser foot, so I'm gonna start there. I am just past my pin there. I always like to start with the hand crank, because I usually start with a pin. I'm just gonna gently stretch it as it goes. Here's another. The reason I'm doing 3/8 of an inch and not 1/2 an inch is because we need a bit of fabric to go around the edge. So if we did straight up a 1/2 inch, we wouldn't have enough for the fabric to travel around and create a casing. Does that make sense? Because this is a 3D object. If it were 2D, obviously, if it was just like a piece of paper or something like that, we could easily do 1/2 and utilize the whole 2-inch width. But to do it for a 3D object, I know this looks 2D, but there is volume to it. So we're going to do 3/8. And we are back to the middle. I am going to cut my thread, and we're gonna go iron it and pin it for the top stitch. All right, so I'm actually gonna start at a shoulder seam, because I did my center back with the basting, so when I go to pull out the basting stitch, I know that it's at the center back and not the side seam that I'm using. So I'm going to line up my folded edge with the inner side of my presser foot. I'm gonna use this pin to show you all. This inner side of the presser foot, I'm lining up my folded edge. That way, this needle on the right catches my folded neckband, and this needle on the left catches my neckline or the body of my shirt. Okay, so you can tell it's a little wonky on the inside and the outside, but honestly, I don't really care. If you can do it better than me, give me some tips, right? Don't just criticize me. I also took the basting stitch out. Before I took the basting stitch out, it was pretty stretchy, but now you can see it will easily go over your head. And that is our 4th shirt done. Do y'all want a styling of how I'm gonna wear these? I think I'll do that and then show you all the finished product. Yay! I have the mock neck on, which is this short sleeve mesh version. I think it looks really cute under a long sleeve. This is an Augustine pattern by Anne-Sophie Velling. I think that's her name. I'll put the pattern number on the screen and I'll link it below, but I think it looks just really sweet poking out here, and it adds another layer, just a little layer. Here I have the turtleneck. I paired it with my wood folk sweater, and I like how the blue brings out the blue in the yarn changing or the color changing yarn. The sleeves of this sweater are a little short, but that's fine. I don't mind having the blue poke out. It's really super cute, very soft. We'll see how warm it is, but with a wool sweater, I'm sure it's going to be incredibly warm. But it's so cute and comfortable. This is the first modification we did, which is the no neckline mock neck. You can see it looks really cute with solid colors. I was gonna do a print to go over top, but I thought maybe that was a little overkill, but I probably would wear a print with this underneath. I like how the lettuce hem kind of matches the frill here, and it's just so super cute. Here is the last modification we did, the regular crew neck. Guys, I'm so happy with how this turned out. I have it with the little white dress that I also made. Did I make anything else? Oh yeah, my sweaters, but I didn't make the last dress. I am so happy with how this turned out. Honestly, I'm probably never going to buy a long sleeve base layer ever again because I have done this video with fabric that I have or fabric that I've wanted to use for a really long time. Okay everyone, that is it for this video. Please go check out Kiana's patterns. Her Instagram is also really cute. I'm gonna link both down below, and maybe if she has a website, I'll link that as well. I'm not sure if she has an independent website yet, but anyways, I'm gonna link everything that I can find down below. I hope you enjoyed this sewing video. If you did, leave a comment down below with what else I should make, or if you just enjoyed seeing a switch up from knitting. I think that's it. Please like, subscribe, comment, I don't know, whatever else there is to do. And I hope you're having a good day, a good month, a good week, a good year, and I will see you next time. Bye.